Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds Podcast. I'm your co-host, Boomer Gato, the cat that hands your two-time Undisputed Championship back. And to my left over here is the main man, Jesus De Niro, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Deadly Andy's brother and spicier content than your girls' only fans. What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. I don't want to see anybody at the top of the pound for pound list unless it is Oleksandr Usyk. After that brilliance of a performance, listen, I put money down on the fight one day before the fight. I ended up going, if you guys go back to our last final prediction before the fight, we picked Usyk. Now, I initially picked Tyson Fury. Our final prediction, I decided to go with Usyk. Why did I decide to go with Usyk in the end? Listen, I thought all of the things that Usyk has brought to the other heavyweight champions, the other boxers that he's faced, would edge out the things that Tyson Fury is great at. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think that Tyson Fury had the tools to beat Oleksandr Usyk. I thought Usyk was going to do just enough to squeak it by, which is why I ended up changing my prediction to Usyk. Now, my man here picked Usyk all along. He picked Usyk from the beginning. But in the end, I ended up changing my mind, believing Usyk was going to be the right one. And just like I said, he edged it out. He did just enough. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that I told my man here while we were watching the fight was Fury has all of the tools, the height, the arm length. He's quick, even though he's a big guy. To be able to beat Usyk. But you know what? He wasn't using any of those. Don't get me wrong. They use his arm length at times, to keep Usyk at bay. There's a bunch of times where you could tell he was putting his hand right up against Usyk's head, and Usyk was trying to swing at his body, but it was just out of reach. So he did do that a few times throughout the fight, but he wasn't leaning on him as he should have. He wasn't really putting his big frame. Now, one of the things that I noticed with my partner here while we were watching the fight is anytime Fury threw body punches, man, he leaned into him, man. He threw his weight behind those. And I'm honestly surprised that those body punches didn't affect Usyk more. I would have loved to see more of that from Fury. I think Fury, for a lot of different reasons, was really questioning himself in this fight, and I think Usyk made him question the man that he was. All throughout the fight, Fury, to the buildup of the fight, Fury tried to get in the mind of Usyk, and it just wasn't working. Usyk is not the one, Mac. And in the final prediction, I said the one thing that would make a difference is the mental game of each individual. Because after the Francis Ngannou fight, I did question Fury's mental game. But leading up to it, hey, I thought, he looks mentally tough. He looks like he's going in there. But Usyk never faltered. And that we also talked about in the final prediction. Usyk never, ever faltered in any of his fights. He truly, truly believed that this was his destiny. And I think that's what ended up making the difference. Because even when Usyk got rocked, because he got rocked a couple times in the fight, he was able to push himself and really put that stamp to make him be the winner. Now, he won via split decision, so he did win, but it was close, as it should have been. Going up into the fight, I remember when I placed my bet, it was pretty much 50-50. It was slightly more favoring Tyson, but I mean just slightly. I actually checked to see before I ended up placing my bet what my winnings would have been for each of them, and I mean it was literally a couple bucks difference. It wasn't much of a difference. So I ended up going with Usyk because, I'll be honest with you, I believed he was going to win. Apart from that, he did pay slightly better if he won, which he ended up doing. So shout out to my man Usyk for getting me that money. With that being said, listen, rematch. It's more than likely going to happen. Everyone's kind of saying, we'll see, except Usyk. Usyk said, I'm already ready. In true Usyk fashion. But I think Fury deserves the rematch no matter what anybody says. I think they both performed phenomenally. I think the heart of Usyk, the mental game of Usyk really pulled through. There was a couple things. Tyson Fury had a great uppercut throughout the fight. Usyk didn't have an answer for it. Usyk kept on getting caught to the point where he even got rocked. and it was looking a little bad for him there for a little bit. I think it was round 8, maybe 10. Don't quote me on the exact round, but it was somewhere in there. I want to say 10. I'm going to say 10. And on the reverse hand, Fury just could not stop Usyk's left from getting in. Usyk would double up on the jab and then hit him with that left. And he could not find a response for it. So much so that in the 9th round, we all saw it was this close to being called. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad it didn't get called, and here's why. A lot of people are saying, oh, it should have been called, it should have been called. I disagree with that. Here's why. We're talking about the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world. We're talking about all the belts. I think in these types of scenarios, you should give both fighters every benefit of the doubt that they can come back. Unless it's insanely visible that one is just going to get beat up to the point where they're going to get seriously hurt, you give them every benefit of the doubt. You give them every chance to fight up to the end. And I'll be honest with you, Fury came back. I'm not saying he won the rest of those rounds, the 10th, 11th, and 12th, but I do think he came back and showed, he got his legs back under him and fought all the way to the end. So I'm glad that they didn't call it then. But, man, we actually counted the punches and how many punches that man took. It went into the teens. It went up to the teens of how many punches he took in that round after he got rocked. It was intense. But, yeah, man, it was definitely a phenomenal fight. Great performance. I do think the right person won. I think Usyk did just enough to edge out the fight. But I'm honestly excited about seeing a rematch. What do you think about all that, my man?
Oh my goodness, what a show-out performance by Oleksandr Usyk. At the end of the day, I think me and Usyk are kindred spirits, he and I. Oleksandr Usyk is called the cat. I'm also the cat. This man is small for his stature. I'm also small for my stature. Oleksandr Usyk is the undisputed champion. I'm going to be the champ. In Undisputed. Count it down, folks. October, when it comes down to PS5, I'm beating this man in the Undisputed video game. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to be the undisputed champ of Undisputed. But that's for a later day. So, what happened during this fight? Well, to be honest, once you kind of saw the weigh-in, it kind of foreshadowed what was going to happen in the ring. Tyson Fury was just looking onto the camera, and Oleksandr Usyk was just staring this man dead in the face, right in the eye, getting up in his space. And guess what happened during the fight? Tyson Fury had every single advantage. He had the height advantage. He had the weight advantage, weighing 20 pounds more over 30. Oh, okay, even worse. 30 pounds over Oleksandr Usyk. He had a longer arm length. And the fact of the matter is, he kept bullying Oleksandr Usyk, pushing him away, making sure that he was keeping it at arm's length. But what did Oleksandr Usyk do? He made sure to get right up in there and start throwing in nothing but flurries. And when he saw blood in the water, like he did in, I believe it was the 10th round, when it was throwing about 16 blows when Tyson Fury was looking... 9th round, okay, impressive. When he was looking pretty dazed and he took 16 blows to the face. And to be fair, to give credit to Tyson Fury, his infamy that he won in that first Wilder fight, this man got up from those blows and just ate them. And granted, in the round that followed, he didn't look too worse for wear. He was looking a bit cautious, granted you, but again, the man had a broken nose at that point, or at least a highly speculated broken nose at that point. He was bleeding. He was bleeding from there. It was looking kind of like he was breathing from the mouth a little bit more. So I'm at the very least, the nose was compromised at the very least. Maybe not broken, but it was compromised. But the fact of the matter is, he still went in there with his usual game plan of trying to keep the distance and trying to keep Oleksandr Usyk in. And to be honest, once Usyk saw what was going on with the nose, the fact that Tyson Fury kept rubbing his nose and it was bleeding a little bit, you can tell it was compromised. And he saw blood in the water. I even saw one uppercut where it was legit nothing but nose. I don't know if that was sniper precision or if that was a happy accident, but the fact of the matter is, Usyk definitely had those sniper precision shots, even when Tyson Fury had a complete advantage when it came to defense. Even one punch slipped in through both of those guards and slipped in right square into the nose. Phenomenal fight, phenomenal performance by Usyk, although I also have to give credit for Tyson Fury for standing as much as he did. Even though he didn't quite fall down, the ref did have to call it, which... Look, 16 blows to the face unprotected. You kind of have to give a little bit of a leeway for, look, man, how are you doing so far? That's when they had to do the standing 10 count until Tyson Fury was able to get back onto his feet, shaking off any dazes. But again, the fact of the matter is, Tyson Fury, whether he wanted to admit it or not, and you can see the reactions on his face, you can tell He did not expect Usyk to have that much power. A power coming from a former cruiserweight going into a heavyweight fight. And the fact that he didn't see the impact of those blows coming until they hit him directly in the face. The fact of the matter is, he had to digest those punches. He hit 2 good hooks. And even Tyson Fury was like, wow, those came from him? Holy Moses. So the fact of the matter is, we have to give roses to Tyson Fury for taking as many blows as he did unprotected. But in that same vein, Tyson Fury has to give those same roses back to Oleksandr Usyk for having that much power. The fact that it was a split decision, don't even worry about that. The fact that it was a split decision, but again, coming from somebody that's already way out of their weight class, that alone should be at least a shutout performance. Even though it doesn't look like it officially, it is a shutout performance. What do you think about my assessment?
Listen, my man, I'll keep it 100 with you. As far as the fight, I think it was just like everybody else, just like the betting odds, just like this card show. I think it was as close as you could possibly make it, which is phenomenal. That's what you want to see in this type of a heavyweight fight. This was definitely a fucking chess match. This wasn't no fucking checkers. This was chess match. These individuals are so highly skilled in their craft that it came down to literally maybe even just the last round where they were going back and forth. Now listen, I'll be honest with you. Again, I placed a bet on the fight the day before for Usyk to win. I gave Usyk the first 2 rounds, but up until like the 8th round, I had it all Fury. So I'm not gonna lie. I was starting to kiss my money goodbye. I'm like, damn, Fury was imposing himself too much, so on and so forth. But Usyk pulled it out, man. Usyk definitely came back, and I do think, again, I think he did just enough in the end to win those win the fight overall. Now listen, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, like you said, we got to give Fury his flowers for a number of different things. He still looked great in there. I don't think he imposed himself enough. I don't think he was enough of who he normally is. Fury, I think he was maybe a little bit too much in his head. Maybe he, for the first time, didn't get in somebody else's head. Maybe that person got in his head. There was a lot of things leading up to the fight that made me think that for the first time, maybe Fury felt like the other person got in there, because as much as he tried, Usyk would just not let him get in there. Usyk stared him down to the point where, when I watched the face-off, there was actually a point where Fury looked away. And Fury's been very known to point out that in this Klitschko fight, it was Klitschko that looked away first. It was Klitschko that left the sauna first. It was Klitschko that flinched first, so on and so forth. So I think this was one of the first times, if not the first time, that really made Tyson Fury question himself. And I think that's what ended up making it harder for Fury to really exploit the things that he should have exploited in the fight. Again, there came a point where Fury hit 2 uppercuts, kind of close, within, maybe 5 or 10 seconds of each other, and he didn't pounce. He should have pounced. That could have been his potential for a knockout in that fight there. Again, I want to say 10th round. Maybe the 8th round. Again, don't quote me on the exact round, but I remember there was everyone noticed it. It wasn't like it was just me noticing. Everybody noticed it, and they were basically saying, "Look, this is a chance. This is a chance." I even believe I heard his corner saying, "Get him, jump on him, get him." And Fury didn't. For whatever reason, he didn't do it. So I think that this definitely made Fury question himself, and I think that ended up being his downfall, because he didn't push himself enough. He should have leaned on Usyk more. He should have clinched more than he did. He sort of, all the things that Fury does regularly, he didn't do. Usyk took him out of his game, and that's why Usyk ended up winning. Usyk made it a fight that Usyk wanted to, made the fight the way that Usyk wanted to fucking fight it, not the way that Tyson wanted to fight it. And I think that's really the ultimate downfall of Tyson Fury. Hopefully this, doesn't cause Fury to question himself too much, because again, a rematch has already been discussed. It's more than likely going to happen, and hopefully it does, man. This was such a good fight. I wouldn't mind watching it again. This is obviously going to bring up a number of questions. There was obviously the fight between Joshua and Fury being brought up if Fury did in fact win this fight. I still think that's a great fight to have. I think everyone should have it at the very least. That way they can crown the best of Britain. They can crown the best of their country. But listen, man, as far as this fight, the right man won. Congratulations to Usyk. It was a great night for Ukraine. One of his fellow countrymen also won. All the props to Usyk. This man deserves this win. This man deserves to be pound for pound. I don't want to see anyone else at the top of that list. Anything else you want to add to that, my man?
Yes, I feel like there's another tale that we're not exactly talking about as to another reason why Tyson Fury didn't win this fight. And the fact of the matter is, whether Tyson Fury doesn't want to admit it to himself. To be honest, I saw a lot of posts that were saying this fight's going to be boring. It's going to be, it's not going to be that great of a fight. It's going to be overblown. It's 20 years in the making, but it's not going to be that exciting of a fight. And the fact of the matter is, the fight actually told a different tale in and of itself in two ways. For one thing, it proved all the people that thought this fight was going to be boring or too much of a mismatch wrong. But it also proved Tyson Fury wrong, because whether he wants to believe it or not, the fact that he was trying to showboat, the fact that he was trying to taunt, the fact that he was trying to play to the crowd too much and not focusing on his opponent that's with him in the ring and giving him too much due credit, or not giving enough due credit. The fact of the matter is, him and a lot of people that were saying, oh, you're casual, you don't know how, like, it isn't going to be a mismatch or not. The fact of the matter is, people did not respect Oleksandr Usyk enough. That's why everybody thought this was a mismatch. It was going to be a wash. Tyson Fury has it. Tyson Fury himself believed it. That's why he was trying to, play a little Ali rope-a-dope, and it turns out he was bouncing against the ropes like a pinball ball, whatever. The fact of the matter is, look, Oleksandr Usyk believed that he was going to win the Undisputed Championship. He believed it was his destiny, and there was actually a few people. Terrence Crawford, which, by the way, he even said it himself. Oleksandr Usyk, no doubt, is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter of all time, at least as it currently stands. So it seems like there are way too many people that don't respect Oleksandr Usyk beforehand, and now all of a sudden, now that he has all the belts, now that he has the Undisputed Championship, now they're getting to respect him. And the story that I want to end off with is, you're always underestimated until it's time to be appreciated. Once you show everybody that you have every single right to be in that ring, that you have every single standing to go against the best, even though everybody has all their doubts against you, everybody has all the excuses to say, oh, it's not going to be an exciting fight. The fact of the matter is, once you show them wrong, then they all start to show their flowers. Then they show all their support. Then they back you and say, I've been there from the get. No. Oleksandr Usyk deserves those flowers, and those people that believe that he wasn't able to pull it out, got proven wrong, and they have nothing else but to be proven wrong. They have to now eat their words and now recognize that Oleksandr Usyk is not only undisputed, but absolutely pound-for-pound fighter.
You more, my man. I couldn't agree with you any more than that, my man. The man deserves his flowers. The man deserves all the accolades from gold medal, undisputed in cruiserweight, undisputed now in heavyweight. He's done it all. So, again, great win for Usyk. Great win for Ukraine. Shout out to Tyson Fury, because the man stepped in there. The man maintained, even though it looked like he was going to be taken out. And I'm looking forward to it happening again. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.